Hey guys, what is going on? This is the Club of the Man 1993, and I'm back up here for a live review. The first of definitely two, maybe three live streams tonight.
Hey guys, what is going on?
Shoot, I can't believe I did that. Never remember when I have the audio still on or not. So I don't like hearing my own voice on top of my own voice. Anyways, guys, but we are live for my live review of this week's episode of NXT UK, the April 3rd, 2019 edition that took place at the Coventry Skydome in Coventry, England. Supposed to be the go-home show for NXT TakeOver New York, since they have a match with the UK title being defended with Pete Dunne taking on Walter. But there really wasn't anything involved in that in the show. So it was kind of a go-home show, but really was not. Just kind of got us a little more hyped for what's going to be happening next week, and some more things up to come for NXT UK. So it was a solid show, but I felt it was good, like a little above just solid. I felt wasn't as good as, of course, last week. Last week was pretty good. This week's though was just good. Like it did its job, has things set up for the future, hyped some matches up for next week as well. And obviously, we probably know now who is probably going to be going after the UK Championship first after the match on Friday. So we'll see what happens. We'll just go through this real quickly. And after this, of course, I'll be watching regular NXT. And I'm also going to, if I'm still, peppy enough after that, I will do my live preview and predictions for NXT TakeOver New York on right after that. So just stay tuned, guys, as we have several things soon tonight, and hopefully tomorrow also I'll get the next set of the next 3 levels of Adam Project upload. Also, I'm about to do my second one tonight again if I'm not too tired of these reviews, or I might work on the second one while I'm watching NXT. But again, guys, we'll see what happens. So of course, let's get right into this review. Starting off, we're opening up with a tag team match. Kenny Williams and Amir Jordan taking on the European Union, Marcel Barthel and Fabian Aichner. Again, I keep saying, definitely one of my favorite upcoming teams right now. That was a good tag team match. Of course, European Union, I feel like, have been established well enough already to feel like, they're not just, on the rise. Kenny Williams and Amir Jordan have definitely been on the rise, telling this little story with them, kind of being a little bit polar opposites in some ways as a team together. But it seems like there's kind of like starting to come together in some ways, and be all fancy schmancy and whatnot, and gain some momentum, starting take interest in each other's abilities and interests and whatnot. So it's working out pretty good. And they're definitely getting some momentum and probably heading to a tag team opportunity because they won this match. The highlights from the match. Of course, at the beginning of the match, Barthel was not approved of all the dancing by Amir Jordan, but he takes him to the corner, and then Aichner comes in, but Williams is snuck in on a blind tag. Hurricanrana blocked into a sunset flip with Aichner being sent outside. Barthel then punched Jordan down all in the corner before it's double stomping for good measure. And then we had a chin lock that didn't last too long, and Barthel misses a charge in the corner, allowing the tag in Williams. Wheelbarrow face plant gives Williams 2, and a springboard back elbow knocks Aichner to the floor. Williams then takes too long trying to skin the cat, though, and gets drop kicked to the floor. Aichner and catches a diving Jordan on the floor, and it's spinebuster into a kick to the chest of Williams, but then Jordan trying to get back in. Williams caused a suplex and rolls Aichner up for a schoolboy pin to get the pinfall victory. And they win with a roll-up on Aichner. So not a bad match for sure. And from the buzz backstage, and we'll of course out later on, it's looking like Amir Jordan and Kenny Williams will be the next tag team to get a shot at the UK tag titles soon, based off the promo we got later on. But we have 2 backstage promos. First, we got Rhea Ripley, walking around obviously in a foul mood, and saying she's going to put Piper Niven in her place and make her nightmare, basically, as Piper Niven made her NXT UK debut last week, coming down and confronting Rhea Ripley, saying that she's the most dominant woman in NXT UK, not her. And we've been told that Niven would make her debut next week, which again I'm looking forward to seeing that, because I thought she had a great performance in the first Mae Young Classic. Hope she would stick around, but she went elsewhere. But she's come back to NXT UK now, and she will be inserting herself into the women's division. And I think it's probably gonna be either her or Kaylee Ray will be the one to to dethrone Tony Storm eventually down the line. You know, Tony has a match next week, but I feel it's still too soon to take the title off of Tony. You know who she's facing. Of course, I'd like to see, you know, be women's champion someday. Yeah, that segment. And then we see Sid Scala and Johnny Saint backstage when the Irish Ice walks up. And he wants to know how Walter is getting a title shot so fast after he's won match after match and gotten nothing for himself. There's nothing that can be done, though, to change Friday because the contracts have been signed. But Devlin promises that he's going to be watching. And, you know, I'm pretty sure on Friday Walter will dethrone Pete Dunne. And so I guess setting up for Devlin to be Walter's first challenger for the UK title afterwards. Probably. We'll see. Well, that's all I gotta say there. We had a brief match with Kaylee Ray taking on Isla Dawn. Short match. It was a battle of, you know, Scotland, basically. Kaylee Ray goes after the arm, but Dawn spins out of it and goes to a split on the mat. Right back to the arm with Kaylee, taking her to the mat. Put him on his website. That's another thing too. The thing I hate about my UK reviews is the fact that I always have a tough time trying to find a website that has the notes from what happened, just so, you know, I'm refreshed for sure. Let's see here. The arm gets pulled on even more, this time with Ray trapping it for a second with an abdominal stretch, but then Ray hits a super kick into a gory bomb to pretty much kind of squash Isla Dawn, which, I don't know, again, like, you know, we've given, like, you know, Candy Floss some more time in the ring. We give him, like, and Charlie Morgan more time in the ring than this. Having Kaylee Ray to win was the right move to do, but kind of having her squash Isla Dawn, who was the first person to challenge for the UK women's title after Rhea Ripley won it. You know, I was kind of not a big fan of having her squash her, but put Kaylee over. So I guess it's just was for what it was, in my opinion. Sorry, has a couple members in the live chat. What's up, Rob? Just tuning into your review while I spend my time with my shiny, oh so shiny title belt. As, of course, you know, Ciampa would say about Goldie. And we got Tyler. What's up, Tyler? Why WWE should do AJ Styles and Charlotte win the mixed match challenge season 2? Who knows? Instead, we had a bunch of jobbers win. I was cool with Awesome Truth winning it. Once again, it did absolutely nothing, but, you know, there was still an entertaining act, I thought. But yeah, I don't get why they just did that in general. And of course, the runners up was Jinder Mahal and Mahalisha. Well, Alicia Fox. Mahalisha. Two people I cannot stand were teamed together, and they were runners up. Because once again, the teams changed how many times? It was a joke. Like, I like the first one better. Second one was just a complete joke. But thank you guys for your stuff in the live chat. We didn't have a backstage segment where Tony Storm is being interviewed. Didn't really say much when Jenny came out of nowhere and attacked Tony. Basically, you know, left Tony laid out, basically, just to hype up their match. Will most likely be the main event next week, the women's title match with Tony Storm and Jenny. Should be a good match. I remember they had a pretty good match in the semifinals of the NXT UK Women's Championship tournament. So I think they put on a good match. I still feel that they should have given someone else, though, this challenge for Tony Storm. Again, Tony's going to definitely have that women's title for a good run for sure. It's still too soon to drop it, though, in my opinion. So, I mean, I would like to see maybe someone else besides Jenny challenge, but it'll still be a good match while it lasts. But Jenny's at some point will be the UK Women's Champion, I do feel. So we got that match next week. Also, Travis Banks had a promo talking about what Cassius Ohno said about him recently and how he used to look up to the Cassius, but now he's getting ready to beat him up, and we're going to get a match between them as well next week. So far, next week, we'll have 3 matches hyped for next week. Piper Niven's NXT UK debut, well, in-ring debut. We have the women's title match, probably the main event, Tony Storm, Jenny, and we're also going to be seeing Travis Banks and Cassius Ohno. So we'll see that. And then we have this promo in the ring with the grizzled young veterans, Liverpool's number 1, Zach Gibson, and his protege, James Drake. Gibson talks about how awesome they are, but they're not competing tonight because they're not dressed and he's not medically cleared. He's tired of the fans disrespecting him in person and on social media or from the locker room or from commentary. He says that people coming into this place, such as the Kick Pad wrestlers and the flippy, skinny wrestlers all trying to jump over the two of them. That's why they won the tag titles at TakeOver. Blackpool, now Williams and Jordan apparently won a title shot after winning their match. After winning 3 matches, they run this place now, and that isn't changing, basically. So I guess it's hyping up. It's probably going to happen like in the next 2 or 3 weeks. I'd say we'll see a UK tag title defense, as the last one we saw the Grizzled Young Veterans have was against Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch. I'm sorry, Oni Lorcan, Mr. You took away my dream. He's screaming at Cedric last week. Him and Danny Burch, but we'll see how it goes in the upcoming weeks. I was gonna keep saying, I'm all right with this UK tag title run with them, but again, I feel like this is just giving Zach Gibson something to do, since he doesn't have anything as a single star right now for sure. I'm pretty sure. I wonder if eventually they would have him be the one to dethrone Walter. I feel like he'd be the more logical pick to eventually dethrone Walter once Walter dethrones Pete Dunne probably on Friday. So I feel like, Walter, I'm sorry, we'll have a good run. I feel like, if anybody, I feel like Zach Gibson would be the one to probably dethrone Walter, maybe. But who knows? We'll see. And then finally, we have our main event. It was Trent Seven taking on Joe Coffey of Gallus, which, again, I still love that theme song. Hey, yeah, do 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 do. Oh, do 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 do. Can't remember all the words exactly, but well, the noises they make it. But pretty good match, I gotta say. Coffey showed off the strength at the beginning, catching a crossbody, firing off chops, but then Seven fires back his own chops himself. Gets 2 off a DDT. That, of course, Coffey was like, what? And then Trent like, okay, this DDTs and follows it up. You have the Trent Seven Army chants going. It was an attempted dragon suplex being driven into the barricade for a break. Coffey had bent Seven's back around the post before going to the chin lock inside. Eventually got switched to a bear hug as Coffey had taken over most of the offense so far at the beginning. Belly to belly, Coffey drops his knees on the back to keep Seven down. Seven eventually gets up and fires off chops into a modified Falcon Arrow. Then Coffey kicks out of that and he goes outside, takes a suicide dive from Seven, and then Coffey would blast Seven back with a lariat for a 2 count. Into a released German suplex, the power bomb, and then gets 2 on 7 as they're both down. Seven went old school with a figure 4, but then Coffey got to the ropes. Seven then backdrops him for a big crash. They barely make it back in to beat the 10 count, and then Coffey missed a spinning springboard crossbody. The 7-star Larry connects for 2, but Coffey is right back with another power bomb, and then transitions into a Boston Crab and getting us 7 to tap out. So Joe Coffey gets a win back, and we'll see, of course, where it goes for him and Gallus for sure. And then we get the video recap basically for hype up the match on Friday with Pete Dunne and Walter. As I unfortunately feel again, that will be the night when Walter's run end, but when Walter ends the UK title reign of Pete Dunne. But of course, we'll see for sure what happens. We get to Friday. Why WWE do John Cena versus Kurt Angle as his last match? I'll get to that, of course, in my WrestleMania predictions, but thank you for leaving that stuff in the live chat, Tyler. Overall, give NXT UK a beat. Good show. Was a little better than just solid, but I thought it was just good. So I'll give it a beat. We'll see what happens next week. We have Piper Niven's debut, Travis Banks taking on Cassius Ohno, and and the women's title match with Tony and Ginny. So we'll see how that goes, guys. But I'll be back up here again in about an hour. Don't go anywhere, guys. I'm going to be again doing my live review of NXT. Continue to watch it still, and then I will be doing, if I'm still awake, I'll be doing my takeover predictions as well tonight. Tomorrow will be my WrestleMania 35 predictions, and also it will be, my top 10 special of the week. Because unless I upload a video game or something Friday, I'm not going to be able to do anything Friday because I'm going to be getting ready to leave Friday night. So again, guys, after tomorrow, again, no live reviews until after I get back from WrestleMania. I may go live on Dan's channel maybe while we're in New York, but again, we'll see what happens, of course, when we get there. So once again, guys, please stop liking the video, subscribe or comment on my channel, follow me on Twitter at DemandAir93. And guys, I'll see you guys in about an hour for my NXT live review. So until then, guys, have a great rest of your night. I'll see you all in an hour. Peace out, everybody.